Tonight, just before the news, many of you watched the show Blue Bloods here on CBS 5, and we're about to show you what it's like working the blue line inside one of our high schools. Let's get the facts first on CBS 5 News at 11. Martin Nall is the school resource officer at Baldwinsville's Baker High School, where he's on duty every school day. Officer Nall became a sworn officer in 1992. He's been stationed at Baker High since 2007. And his beat is unlike anyone else's in the Baldwinsville Police Department. Before we walk the halls of Baker High with the man in charge of keeping it safe, we wanted to get one thing out of the way, a sensitive question about one of the biggest crime problems in society today. And we took it straight to the school resource officer. I guess the bottom line of my question is heroin here?
Heroin's in the area. I definitely know there's probably some students there. I know a few that have. My concern is this is usually where they start developing that trend towards heroin. We see a lot more of it, unfortunately, with the students that graduated. I've seen where they've, had abused painkillers and stuff while here, and they were trying to address. And then as they got out, they continued on into heroin and stuff like that. But it's certainly, I know I'm not immune. I know it's here now. And so now we're just trying to do everything we can to try to give them the knowledge to make better choices.
Inside the school, Officer Nall says the top issues he deals with involve bullying, fights, drugs, and theft. But solving those problems is not where he believes the greatest victories lie. That is in the connection he forges with students.
A lot of my interaction with the students, I let them kind of dictate how they feel comfortable with me. Some students are very comfortable coming up to me. Some are more intimidated. And my size, I know, does play a factor there.
You are tall.
With my size and my uniform, I know that does play a factor in their comfort level. So a lot of times I let them get their comfort level on how to interact with me. And a lot of it is, again, just the familiarity of seeing me. They see me at lunch. I'm in the cafeteria during lunches. I'm around the building. So they just get to see it and they start to feel comfortable, and then they start reaching out.
And it's working. He's likable and so readily available to the students. The tips and tidbits of information about things minor and major usually come to him.
We get information, like I said, most of your major school shootings, which God forbid I'd hate to see happen anywhere in this community, but most of those were known prior to them happening. It's just the students didn't know where to go or who to tell. Whereas here, I hope they feel comfortable enough to come forward and say, like we had a situation recently where students came forward and said, I saw something that made me uncomfortable. Here you go, and take care of it. So we took care of it. So I think it does open that dialogue.
Officer Nall says his interaction with students is far more positive than negative. He works in full uniform. That's critical, he says, for shaping young minds about law enforcement.
The current climate's been a little negative, and I think that's, again, where being in here, they see me as a person, not just as an authority figure. So that helps them relate to a police officer, think in a better way. And obviously with the climate and today, hopefully that changes some of their mindset as they move forward and have less of a negative look at law enforcement and police in general. Officer Nall works the entire school year. Then during the summer, he returns to road patrol in Baldwinsville.